Earth-616 is in imminent danger. As the multiverse collapses, only Earth's mightiest heroes can discover the cause and thwart this villainy. Each a member of their own super team, they have gathered to challenge the demise of the universe as we know it. They are Marvel's Illuminati, and each guard an Infinity Gem.
First is Blackagar Boltagon, aka Black Bolt. He is the king of the Atalans. The Atalans are beings mutated by the Terrigen mists, created by the alien beings called the Kree to be superior entities. They live in the blue area of the moon. Black Bolt is raw power in his voice. His merest whisper can knock the Hulk to the ground. His roar can shatter more than bone. Black Panther, lineal king of Wakanda. He is a warrior born with riches beyond measure. He's one of the few men who is brilliant enough to be best friends with Reed Richards. Hank McCoy, the Beast, primal, fierce, and educated. A mutant born and one of the founding members of the X-Men, the Black Swans have foretold his variants on other multiverses have been able to save the Earths. Can he do it again? The legendary Iron Man, one of the founding members of the Avengers, and a genius with the resources and wit to match. Dr. Stephen Strange, Earth's guardian and sorcerer supreme. He has mastered the mystic arts. Though he is a good man, signs and portents do not bode well for those who tamper with magics. Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic himself. Often regarded as the smartest man on the planet, his body was bombarded with cosmic rays that imbued his body with near limitless elasticity. In his hand he holds the Ultimate Nullifier, a weapon so powerful it frightens Reed Richards as much as it scares the insatiable planet-eating entity known as Galactus. Does Dr. Richards dare to use the Ultimate Nullifier that can blink reality out of existence? Prince Namor, ruler of the high seas and king of Atlantis. In terms of brute physical strength, none of the other Illuminati can match him. Cunning, ruthless with a sense of honor, he is the first mutant and dreams of stealing Reed Richards' wife away, Susan Storm. Once a villain, he is now one of Earth's greatest champions. It all culminates in this book, Infinity. The mad titan Thanos has created his own cabal to combat the Illuminati, to please his lady mistress Death, and bring about the end of all things, which leads to secret wars, where all is revealed. Who will survive? But first, let's start from the beginning. With so many marvelous heroes, it may be hard to figure out where to begin if you're interested in reading comic books. Add to that so many multiverses and timelines. To that end, I've collected a cohesive reading list, or a few of them, and compiled them into what I call Multiverses, which consist of the Sentryverse, the Mephistoverse, and the Apocalypseverse. The Sentry and the Mephistoverse are depicted here. These are the reading lists for the Sentry and Mephisto universes. The Sentry universe is meant to represent the golden age of heroes, the first book being The Sentry by Paul Jenkins and Jay Lee. Parental guidance is suggested for all materials of children ingest. You can find these books online or at your local library. All my editions are secondhand and not mint condition by any means. I'd like to begin by introducing my two favorite characters. Stan Lee wanted to invent a world outside your window in the Marvel Universe. And with that, he made Daredevil and the Punisher, two iconic characters that are dual sides of the same coin. The Punisher, wrath and vengeance. Daredevil, forgiveness and redemption. These philosophical questions are always what drew me to comic books, in that they were hyperboles of everyday narratives, of injustice and cruelty, of wrath and anger, and the empowerment we feel when we rise to meet the challenge, in spite of our obstacles, despite the odds. Super beings granted miraculous powers by chance or accident. It's Marvel's characters that choose who they wish to be that makes them who they are. The Sentryverse is meant to be an introduction to most of the iconic characters that you'll see in the larger crossover events. Crossover events are when titular characters combine to form a cohesive narrative that's larger in scope. These events are usually referenced in Marvel's later stories in what is called the continuity and represent the established history of Marvel Comics. Though through various stories and multiverses, these events are subject to change and variable. Though knowledge of some events is crucial to understanding later references and contextual circumstances for later narratives. In the Sentryverse, I try to provide a groundwork, a base frame for the rest of the Marvel Universe to unfold in all its wonderful, magnificent tapestry with its amazing artists, writers, and creators.